how the airlines operation, the aeroplane traffic, air traffic operation was disturbed because of the weather, because of the climate. See, because sometimes when there's quite a lot rainfall, quite a lot storm in the sky, so it's difficult for the planes, for the pilots to actually land, take off, or even if some of you people have traveled in the airplane, so you might have faced turbulence. Turbulence means, a lot of vibrations, and that's a really let's say a scary situation for someone in the airplane. So that's what happens, right? So yep, it gets really difficult over there in that particular time. Acha, so in that time when it rains a lot, when it's a lot of stormy, so the air traffic controllers and also the MET department is connected with the airport air traffic controllers, and they tell them that, hey, you know what, tell your planes to stay on ground, or maybe if they want to land, if they're already in the air, ask them to land quickly by a nearby airport. So there are a lot of protocols that they need to follow when the weather is too bad, right? Then later on, we are discussing that during the November, PIA has operated 5 days flight, while 7 days flight remain cancelled till Friday. So they were only operating 5 days flight, whereas the 7-day flights remain cancelled till Friday, because they couldn't operate, let's say, properly every day, but at the same time they have to make sure that they are not losing business. Now, why are losing business? How? Of course, the more passengers, the more business, the more passengers, the more money. So you need to understand this thing. They cannot completely shut down the operation, but sometimes they have some ways around to it, right? Then the hilly and the remote valleys like Shimshal in Gojal and Pandar in Gizar district, Astor, Gultri in Daimar district, and the upper parts of Baltistan have received first snowfall of the winter season. Now, these all areas which are mentioned here, these are probably at the highest altitude, okay? Highest altitude, let's say, they are quite above the sea level as compared to where we are standing right now. For example, right now we are in the southern region of Pakistan. For instance, I'm in Hyderabad right now. So I've explained this thing before in the previous video as well, that my particular standing, I am, let's say, not too much high above the sea level. I may be 10 meters above the sea level, but if you go in the northern areas of Pakistan, if you go, further up in the mountains, so you're probably a lot higher than the sea level, maybe 1100 meters, 1,000 meters, or even more than that, or maybe less than that. So it depends that where are you exactly. So in the areas which are higher in peaks, okay, which are higher in the altitude, it's called altitude, and also elevation. We also call it elevation in the technical terms, that what is the elevation of that particular area, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it about it. And it says over here that cloudy weather has been forecast with the light rain during the next 24 hours. Okay, so they're saying that the cloudy weather, the MET department, the meteorological department, this one over here. So you see, every country has this meteorological department, this MET department, which actually does the forecast of these things, right? So that's pretty much it about it. And then here are some questions that you need to brainstorm. Brainstorm means think a little bit about on that what elements of the weather caused the dust storm. Like, what are the things in the weather that cause dust storms? In Urdu we call it mitti ke tufan, right? So what happens behind that? What was the forecast which accounted for there being so much dust? Okay, what do the dust storms affect people? Okay, how do the dust storms affect people? So actually, it's much over. These three questions are talking about that. Mitti ka tufan kaise aata hai? Like, how does this dust storm comes, and how does it affect people? How does it affect the weather, and what are the effects we see, and how the dust storm is forecasted? इसकी forecasting कैसे होती है? जैसे कि meteorological department हमें rain के बारे में बताता है, tells us about the storm and the cloudy weather. How can they tell about the dust? Okay, so take that as an assignment. I would love if you kind of solve this meanwhile, right? And then people in Mongolia, right? Now that's going to be the next topic, and see you in the next video, because I don't want to make it too long. All right, so yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, and share with your friends, and comment as well. And see you in the next one. Thank you.